3, 2, 1. We're live, boys. So there's a topic that I wanted to have a discussion with you boys about, and it's the top 5 heroes, and why we pick 5 heroes to, I guess, model our lives around. And I got that idea we all got that idea from Dylan when he first gave us the course of Hardcore Headstart, how to improve your life to achieve a certain outcome. So I guess let's start with you, Dylan. Like, how did you stumble upon the idea of getting heroes?
I can't remember where I stumbled across it. So yeah, it's hard to think back, but this is like so important when you're starting your journey. It's really important because if you can find top 5 heroes, like people that have actually done what you want to do in life, then you start to realize like a switch goes off in your brain and you start to realize like, oh shit, if you watch these people like every single day, damn, they're just normal people and I can be like them too. You know, like the more you watch of someone, then you start to realize they're a hero of you and you aspire to be like them. But the more you watch them, you see they have mistakes too. They mess up. And the only difference between me and that person is probably just 20 years of work. So it starts to expand your mindset of what is possible, because especially like in the schooling system and all of that, you know, and just being around, you know, sadly, like middle class people and lower, they always talk in a certain way. You know, and whatever stories that they're telling in your life, it limits your brain. So I think the best thing about finding top 5 heroes that you can aspire to be like, these are crazy people, then we can start to align ourselves with them, and it starts to train our brains like, oh, I got to be like that.
Yeah, it's the power of association.
Yeah.
And, you know, the show me your friends and I'll show you the future.
That environment thing is so key. And I think one thing that we did, especially starting the journey, is we associated with each other, first of all, is we made sure that we're spending copious amounts of time with each other, but then copious amounts of time actually with these people, these virtual heroes. Like all of these people are heroes, which we'll eventually get into, but they're all online.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they can't sit next to us all day and we can't have a chat with them. Like one of mine was Jeffy Bezos. Yeah. Imagine me going up to Jeffy Bezos. Listen, Mike, can you just talk to me for a little bit?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Can you give us some life advice?
Yeah. Do you think he's got the time?
But I guess that's the power of technology, internet. Like if we didn't have that kind of stuff, we'd be stuck to books.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't really get to see how they interact with other people. You won't get to see that kind of stuff. But because we have such a scalable, I would say like an online university, that has given us the ability to associate ourselves with higher people.
Yep.
And the more you associate yourself with the higher people, you're going to level up.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And the biggest thing was like finding those top 5 heroes that Daniel's talking about is like, yeah, you should find these heroes in your life if it's possible, right? And you can have like a mentor in your life, but odds are there's a big difference between who you can be with around you and the guys at the top. Like odds are you don't know the guys at the top, but you can watch all of their content online. And like the biggest thing is like so many people in the middle class, they always talk about like, oh, my uncle is a millionaire or whatever.
Yeah, they prioritize or kind of glorify the wrong person. So that person's just doing a little bit better than them.
Yeah.
It's so achievable what it is they're already doing.
Yeah.
You know, to do what we want to do, you have to think so much further ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because when I started with the top 5 heroes, like the virtual heroes, I didn't realize I was actually learning from them. I didn't realize I was embodying the information until like a year in or 2 years in.
It's just repetitions.
Yeah, just repetitions. Yeah. Once I kept doing that, and over a year, I realized I'm actually learning a ton from them.
Well, touching on that, like, right, there's obviously reasons, but there's why are we actually using these top 5 heroes? Why do we use that principle? Why have we decided that we want to spend so much time looking at these people, understanding who they are, what they've been through, what they do?
I guess each one of us had a catalyst in our lives that made us want to spend our time doing this, right? And I guess when it comes down to it, we each want, like, the reason why we're all here is because we all have a similar goal. We all want to do similar kind of things in life, and we all want to have an impact in the world. That is why we found each other. So I guess identifying what you want to do is the catalyst to, you know, your top 5 heroes, like who you look up to.
Yeah.
Right. If you just want to be a regular person, cool. That's more power to you, right? And if that makes you happy, more power to you. But your top 5 heroes are vastly different to our top 5 heroes.
So it all comes down to like your goals and like what you want.
Yeah.
Like, so self-awareness.
Yeah.
So you really need to think and reflect, like, where do I actually want to go? Who are the people that are there? And, you know, who are the people that I can learn from to get there?
And the thing, a part of that is like what it actually takes to get there. So we all know that at the start of the journey, it's a lot of hard work. You know, that starts in your actual 9 to 5, because we're all investors, right? You have to get money in the market. To separate yourself from that 9 to 5, you have to have thousands and thousands of dollars in the market, right?
Yeah.
So to do that, you know, it's very difficult, and working your normal 38, 40 hour full-time job, that's not enough for us. It doesn't do it quick enough, right? So we were working 60, 70 up and there at 100-hour weeks to get as much money in the market. And that's difficult. So we use these guys as motivation.
And like our biggest probably one was like all of our top 5 heroes at the beginning. We looked at what we needed at the start, which was like, we needed to start working really hard. So we started getting people like Gary V and all of that.
Muskie.
You know, Elon Musk, about how hard that he would work. And that was just so important. Like, coming from, like, imagine Nando's. Everyone's like, dude, a million times I asked the manager, can I please get more than 38 hours a week? And they're like, Dylan, you're not capable of that.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. It's not possible.
You know? And I'm like, dude, I'm watching these people do it every single day. I feel like I can do it too. Please give me a shot at this, just an opportunity. And they're like, oh, we'll think about it. We might do it during Christmas period when it's really busy, just for 2 weeks. I'm like, man, you're limiting me. You're holding me back. Dude, I know what I'm capable of. I might be a 20-year-old, but I want to be doing double 38 hours. I want to do 80 hours.
It makes you feel like a superhero. Honestly, it does. It makes you feel like a superhero. It's like these kind of people, these CEOs, they're in your corner.
Yeah.
Like every day you go to work, you're wearing a little jacket and it's got patches of them on it. Or it's got
like
little
armor,
people.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's like your armor.
Yeah.
Put your armor on every day.
Right. They got little people. It's just Elon Musk sitting here. I swear to you, for years, Elon Musk just sitting here. Don't be a bitch. Go harder. Right? Like, these are serious things.
Yeah. But yeah, like as you achieve certain things in life, then your top 5 heroes, they will change and they cycle. Sometimes like we would find someone else, like we want to be more knowledge based instead of hard working based. And we might move on to someone like Naval Ravikant or something. But then we might realize, oh shit, because we're focusing so much on thinking smart, we forget about working hard again. Yeah. We might go back to Gary V. It's not that we learn anything new, but it's just getting that association in again and doing those reps to realign our brain back to working hard. So it's not always about always learning.
Goggins is a big one.
Yeah.
Dan Pena as well for me. Switching between.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not something I want all the time or every day. I don't want Dan Pena or Goggins screaming at me to tell me to go fuck myself.
Sometimes you need that though, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. So it's always based on like circumstances and
for sure.
I guess goals that you want to, like, short-term goals, long-term goals. Long-term, we have a set crew, a set number of people that we look up to, right? But then like short-term, I want to get better at this. Who do I look up to? Who's the best in this field? Then you look up to that person.
For the people listening, like it's not something like we can tell you after we have a conversation with you, but that if we don't know you, that's not something we can tell you.
Yeah.
Right? You need to be self-aware enough to go, this is the stage that I'm in my life. These are the specific people that, you know, can get me to that next level. And that's what it's all about, continuously getting to that next level. What kind of person, what kind of hero, kind of person you can look up to is going to get you to that next level.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing with all of this is like, dude, it's on YouTube because of the internet and it's free.
That's the
you know, like
craziest thing,
how much, imagine the internet didn't exist.
University.
Yeah. How much would you pay to listen to Jeff Bezos speak for 2 hours? Fuck. You know, how much would you pay for that? I'll pay a lot of money.
Imagine if YouTube didn't exist. Imagine if internet didn't exist and you had like cassette tapes still. Yeah. How much would you pay for that cassette tape of Jeff Bezos?
Oh yeah.
Speaking. Probably heaps. Heaps.
Yeah.
Right?
It's intense. It's a little bit off topic because it's not on. Well, it is because I read it to an Audible, but there's a book called Invent and Wonder. It's the collective writings of Jeff Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos is one of my heroes, right? But it's like technology's allowed kind of us to compile everything he said ever, and put it in a book.
Yeah,
that is, and it was $15.
That is
honestly.
That's the other thing. Now.
Let me go a little bit further with Audible. She's $15 for the membership. I had a credit. I had one credit, so it was free. I don't know what you want from me.
Someone reads it to you.
Yeah. Someone tells me all the things.
You know what's better? Audible's owned by Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had this like little vision in my head. It was for our cartoon that we're going to produce in the future.
Yeah.
But it was Daniel like talking about that. He's like, I got a butler. He reads to me.
Daniel's like going to sleep. He's all snuggled up and shit.
He's got like this pipe and a wood fire over here, nice view of snow and mountains. Butler boys.
How do you know that's my dream? What the hell? That's what I dream about at night. Tucks him in bed at night.
Reads to him for $15 for 6 hours.
So like obviously the first one is motivation from people. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Right. I think.
But I think we should talk about our story a little bit more. So we are on this path of, investing, finance and that kind of stuff because we realized early on that the currency in this world is actually, so to get back time, you actually need wealth. You need capital in this world. So Dylan, I remember you telling me, I need money. So I'm going to look up who's the richest person in the world and what do they do? That's literally how you found Warren Buffett and all those people. And that's how you got onto the path of investing.
Yep.
So it's identifying those things that will actually 10x your life in the future that you need to look up to now.
Yeah, right.
To find the best people that you can look up to now.
That's the point though, yeah.
Yeah.
The best people.
Yeah. The best
people.
people.
Something we always talk about is finding that A-class person.
Yep.
Right? Don't find the millionaire who's gone and the millionaire investor. Find the multi-billion. The important thing that Sam just said is the richest person. You want to find the best investor, the A-class, the expert, the person who spent the most time and has the most experience. So you want to learn from the best, not the second best at all times.
Oh, yeah. And like the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire, in our minds, they're big numbers.
Yeah.
But it's actually 1,000 times.
Yeah.
1 billion is 1,000 millions. That means there are 1,000 millionaires equals 1 billionaire. He's outputting more work, more success than 1,000 people. That's only single digit.
There's a funny TikTok, right, where it's like someone's taking this video and it's panning right to left, and it's got a decent sized yacht, really, like we'd be happy with, we'd be really happy with, right? And it pans and it's just this cruiser. It's just got this big cruise boat, right? The first one's a millionaire, the second one's the billionaire, right? And this little other boat looks like a tugboat.
Yeah.
It looks like it's got oars.
It looks like a boat that's inside the boat.
It looks like the travel boat for the other boat. And it's like that's like a really good physical representation of how materialistic
how big
representation.
You should think and how you should portray or how you should try to emulate the best in the world. Yeah. So if you want to be an NBA player, you have to look up to LeBron. You have to look up to Michael Jordan, Kobe. Those are your heroes. Yeah. So it's like for your specific goal, who are the best people that you can be like?
Yeah. And that specific person has a specific, once you get past the motivation, it has a specific thing that they can teach you.
Yeah.
Not everyone is the best at everything. So for example, I'm not going to Warren Buffett for,
nutrition advice.
I mean, he is 90-something years old.
We should actually do it,
We should actually think about What if he's like running every single morning?
Shredded.
Shredded.
Dude, I just had an idea for a video. We should do the Warren Buffett diet for like 1 week.
That's good.
We should.
Dude, I've been packed on 10 kilos. I've been
Lived
doing
like
it for
Warren
ages,
Buffett.
boys. We're talking about
I think a big lesson though is like when we're talking about those billionaires, they are the A-class people. So what is a millionaire? A millionaire, we need to switch our thinking to understand that they're actually C or D class people. They are not even close to A class at all.
1,000 times away.
And the reason for that is because if you just work a normal job, by the end, if you do save enough money, you will be a millionaire.
It's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's like that's the base.
Yeah.
You should be at least 10xing that minimum.
And we say like you should, if you work hard and sacrifice and do what you're supposed to do to be successful, it should never take more than 10 years from scratch to become a millionaire.
Yeah, math supports that. Simply does. You invest the minimum at a decent interest rate and some profit rates. She's math, boss.
The fact that we know, like we have the knowledge now, it's so easy to us. But then there's so many people that don't have the knowledge that just they can't put the things together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's a good point because just training us to think that it actually is possible. Yeah, it's so easy for us to say it now.
Yeah, it's so easy. In hindsight, it's always easy.
But when you're training a little kid to say, "Hey, one day you can have $100 million," and it's very realistic for you. Yeah, those numbers, they're just they don't believe it. They think it's a get rich quick thing or something. We need to make it so it is real, man. You will get that.
Yeah. And it sucks because like that person is kind of, for the majority of the time, who thinks like that comes in an environment that's always telling them they can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, always telling them they can't.
It's that paycheck to paycheck environment.
Absolutely. That you can't do this because you live in this kind of environment.
Just be normal.
Yeah. Buy a house. Buy a house.
That's one of the reasons that we grabbed the top 5 heroes.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons we virtually put ourselves in a different environment so that anyone who tells us that you can't do this, Jeff Bezos said I can.
Yeah.
Who's better? You or Jeff Bezos?
I think you're a good example of that, G. Like you were in an environment where you were getting influenced by so many different people that you had to switch to your top 5 heroes so that you're only listening to them. Like, and I think Gary Vee also says that to like one of the people in the crowd that keeps saying, "Oh, I have it bad at home." And Gary Vee literally
I was going to bring that video up.
Don't listen to anyone, just listen to my shit.
Yeah.
I
was
just put me on.
I remember that video so clearly. It's one kid and he came up to Gary Vee and he was having a really bad family life at home and his like dad was abusive or some shit. Gary Vee's just like, I'm really positive. Just put your headphones in and just listen to me all the time.
Yeah.
It's
like
either
do that or move out.
He's got your back.
Yeah. I remember that video so clearly. I was going to bring it up.
It's brutal, but you are alone in this world.
Yeah.
You got to do it yourself. No one else going to help you.
It's true. It's true, though. Like, you just put your headphones in and fucking listen to the best of the best. And
I just got the worst, like, little sketch video, like, little skit video. It's just this poor kid getting beat up and she's got headphones on. He's like, Gary Vee's telling me the good stuff, though. And she's getting beat the shit out of him. I'm like, fuck it. Probably move out, man.
Yeah.
No, I just put on some Mike Tyson and then be like, awaken in a beast.
Let's go.
Some 10-year-old starts swinging.
That sounds like a joke, but that's actually what we do. Like if we want to kick ass, we actually put Mikey Tyson on.
It's stupid, I tell you what. That's
what, so like someone's beating us up. Someone's beating us up. Wait. Let me just put my headphones in.
What'd you say, motherfucker? I tell you what, I'm not sure if you boys have ever made a mistake. You just sit in your room, you're like, I'm going to wind down tonight. I'm going to put a movie or something, and you see a David Goggins video scroll past your Instagram. You're like, I'll watch this one. You watch it, and you start watching a little bit more David Goggins, and then half an hour later, you're out there running. You're like, what the fuck happened?
Did you ever feel like? Do you ever feel like ordering Uber Eats and then you watch David Goggins and then you're just like, nah, I'm going to cancel it.
Nah, man.
Every time, every fucking time for me.
I just run to get my food. That's about it. That's the only difference.
Yeah, she's pretty intense, boys.
But yeah, everyone's trying to find the secret of like what will motivate them. Dude, that's the secret right there. Just find someone. It's like you're taking a pill, and then all of a sudden you're motivated with no side effects. It's only positives.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I think we slightly touched on it, but maybe we should probably go deeper into like why it is you're actually following that specific person.
Yep.
So, if everyone's comfortable with that, like, why do we follow Jobsy? Jobsy's detail orientated. Steve Jobs, you know. He's very detail-oriented. That's something we wanted to build into our lives. Elon Musk works like a madman. Yeah. Something that what we needed at that stage, right? You guys got any examples of that?
Yeah, just the Gary Vee one again. He's just so good. He touches on many things. So that's probably like our one recommendation if you're starting your journey to go and look at Gary Vee.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Who else is a good one for when people are beginning?
Robert Kiyosaki is good.
Oh yeah, Robert Kiyosaki for investing.
Yep.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, I watched a ton of his videos when I was starting out.
Yeah,
helped me a ton.
Sure.
Yeah, it was like whatever you're lacking. Like I remember when I was starting this, the biggest one for me was Joe Rogan because I was lacking maturity in my life. And I just needed to associate myself and like listen to how this smart guy talks, you know, and how he thinks. Like I remember the first time listening to him, like, man, I didn't know it was possible to think like that, and it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Then the switch goes off in your head. I'm like, man, I get it now. I get it forever.
Here's something I'm not sure if we touched on, but I kind of want to put it out there, see if it works, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like our mentor, three of us, was you, right? I'm curious of like, we talk about, you know, putting ourselves in front of that A-class person all the time. And in that stage, you were not an A-class person. It's simple. So it's like, what, if we have a little brainstorm, what was it about him that kind of created him to be our mentor? Like what was that thing, right? Because what we're teaching suggests don't listen to someone like him.
Yeah.
But
well, for me at that point,
I disagree with that.
I just had very little knowledge, but I had the goal of wanting to be better. And I also had the goal of wanting to associate myself around people that didn't think or that thought differently and didn't want to live a normal life.
Yeah.
For me, mostly it was association. I just want to be associated with him because he thought differently. That was my reasoning.
Associated with something on the journey. That's where I kind of put it. It's like it's on the journey.
I think the thing is, you guys were able to see that maybe I'm not an A-class person because no one is even, we're not even now A-class people under the age of 30.
No.
Right? We're still working on it. But you could see the formula that we had built was correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
It results in that. And we're saying, don't listen to me, listen to these experts.
Yeah.
And learn from these fellas.
Yeah.
But I don't think without you, I would have listened to them.
Yeah.
Like you being such a major impact on me, and me being able to, like, you being able to help me see those things, right?
The one thing, like, I guess we could take away from Dylan is he fucking forced us to Google more shit.
Become inquisitive. Become curious.
Google
Absolutely. 100%.
Just Google more shit. Anything you don't know, just Google that shit.
I'm still learning that to this day. Is like, be more curious and inquisitive on everything.
Yeah.
Like this dude, no joke, people, I'm telling you, you'll learn. He comes up with the most random shit. And he knows so much about it. It's so interesting to me. And that was one of the first things that man knows that. I was like, wow, okay.
It's funny. It's
I know a little bit about everything. That's right. But that's
because,
the type of person.
Sorry. It's funny because I know a lot of people these days that still, if they want to know about something, they just turn to like the person next to them and ask them.
Yeah. Instead of Googling it, right?
You have Google, man.
Yeah.
Use Google.
Yeah.
Like I remember ages ago, I was in, I had a mate who was like trying to ask about Bitcoin, to some other mate, and then it's like, bro, just Google it. And you have Google at Google at your fingertips.
You literally find the expert. I think people, when they Google it, they don't want to put in the due diligence, and they'll just find whatever they can find to fit their narrative. They already have a pre-narrative before they Google that shit. For sure. It's like, I'm looking for this. I'm expecting this. As soon as I find something that's like closely similar to that, I won't even do any more digging past that point.
That makes sense. I don't know why like a lot of people don't talk about that. It's just like, don't ask John down the street about what Bitcoin. Fucking
John down the street.
Find the expert on Google.
I know.
Dude, that's a bit where I was going with that.
Do you know a John down the street?
Dude, we're in we're in Springvale. There's no Johns in Springvale, mate. It's not a thing.
The biggest one that I hate is like, oh, my dad's a successful investor. I'm like, mate, do you know Peter Thiel? Do you know him? You know how the rate he's compounding at, man?
Dude, I'm a successful investor. Yeah, he has a self-funded superannuation.
No, but it's just crazy. It's like mind-boggling that people don't think like that. Yeah. It's crazy. You have these people at your fingertips.
Yeah,
I think it's peer pressure. I think it's also, again,
it's probably like it's trying to fit in as well.
They're trying to fit in
conversation.
And I think the point that we should probably cover is people live in quiet desperation in their environment. Like they are so helpless, or they don't know where to start. They're just in limbo. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And living in a life of quiet desperation, conforming and giving into peer pressure to live a life they don't want to live. And as soon as you break that mold and then you start setting goals for yourself, you can break out of your environment and just find the best top 5 heroes. Just 5 for now. And then you'll just evolve over time. And I think you'll become a better version of yourself.
I think there are people who are along the journey, and that's where I was going to go with the previous. It's like there are people along the journey who are building towards that you can build a kind of in-person community around.
Yeah.
Right. Similar to people like him, us, we can be your community.
Yeah.
Like that's where I was going with that point, and that's perfect. Like if you're in quiet desperation, you're living that type of life, you need people everywhere. You need your entire environment changed. Yeah. You need it stripped back and start again.
Yeah.
And I think everyone does live in quiet desperation at one point in their lives.
Yeah.
I know I did. I'm sure you guys did at one point in your lives. And, here we are today.
Yeah. So I think like touching on that, like the one thing that you will need to be successful at finding your top 5 heroes and implementing this into your life is a lack of ego. Because you have to literally say to yourself, dude, my life's fucked up right now. No, I'm missing like so much, and I actually need to say these guys and girls are way better than me, and I don't know anything, and I need to absorb their content to get to their level.
You literally have to become a student.
Have to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You have to have the humility and no ego of a student.
Yeah.
If you have that, then you can process more information quicker. You're more open to new things.
Yeah. Absolutely. It starts with like also recognizing the fact that you're just in a normal pattern. Like you just getting up, going to school, going to work, coming home, watching Netflix.
Yep.
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want out of your life? Like, what are your goals? What do you want? Work it out.
Yeah.
Try and understand. Come up with something. I don't care what it is. Think in 5 years, I want to be here.
Yeah.
If that's it, fine. Reverse engineer. What do you have to do? Find people that can get you there.
Yep. I think maybe we should touch a little bit more on the environment again. Like, people don't realize, like, your environment will literally dictate to some degree your future. Like, we said it before, but show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It's 100% correct. Because people will really influence you. You feel like you're not influenced by others, but you are.
Oh, yeah.
Like, walk into a jail, you instantly feel negative.
Yeah.
Like, your environment is so important. So you really got to start and feel like how the environment is impacting you. And the biggest thing is like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You got to you got to be the leader of your friends group. You got to man up and start saying, hey boys, this is what I'm about. You either come along with me and I'm going to try my best to bring you up with me. Otherwise I'm going to have to start slowly cutting you off and finding other people, because I can't have you boys hold me back. I got to do me. And the biggest thing is like, show me your environment. If you're hanging around with all of these boys that actually do agree to go on this journey with you, then all of you boys need to realize that you guys are all probably E or F class players, and you need to definitely still all have top 5 heroes to boost your virtual environment. So without those top 5 heroes, like it's unlikely that you will get there, but you'll definitely get there a lot quicker and a lot more effectively if you have these top 5 heroes to expand your mindset.
If you don't expand, you're just having conversations with the people around you. I mean, how quality conversations can you have? Because you all know the same thing. You all know nothing. So you need to be able to slowly drip feed in, really valuable amounts of information. And then start evolving and expanding your mindset. Right?
Before, like as well, I just did that post on Instagram showing like the compound rate of Apple. I think I did another one where it was actually not 10 years, but it was the last 30 years. And everyone's just like, oh man, I missed out. I'm like, dude, you're not getting the point. Apple was compounding at 28% back then. Now she's compounding at 32%. You're not missed out on nothing, boys. She's actually getting better as time goes on.
She's growing, boys. Did you guys not see the fact that she's growing? It's pretty wild. Is there anything else we want to touch on there, boys? I mean, all right, I think.
Did you want to touch on peer pressure, G? Like, did you have like a lot of peer pressure? You would have had a lot of peer pressure in your environment.
Oh, 100%.
Like, how did you break out of that?
Well, that's what I actually did want to say that, like, for you, it would have been harder because you didn't have like the community, right? Like for me, at least, I had you boys.
Yeah.
And it was a bit more easier for me to transition. And it was still hard because, you know, like no one other than me knew you guys. Like no one in my family or my friends knew you guys.
Yeah.
So it was still harder, but like for you it would have been like a lot harder.
Oh yeah.
So
I think that's the major value add that we now will be bringing to everyone is we've done the work.
yeah.
Because to even come up with this topic, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And now we can just deliver it to someone straight away. Happens to be our first piece of context. Why? Because we're creating the alphabet here. We're starting with the letter A. This is what people need at the start of their journey.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what we're doing. We're actually providing people luck. That's the biggest value.
Yeah. So because we had that like a little bit of a community going, it was a bit more easier for me to transition. It wasn't too bad. And like I would come to the dojo often, and you know, like you guys would you know, shift my mindset in a way, and then I'll go back to my friends and my family, and I'll be like, what they said doesn't like coincide with this, and like this doesn't really make sense. So over time, it kind of like made more sense to do what we're doing here. So,
but even with us, like it was quite a battle because I felt like at the very beginning, like I felt like we were outnumbered.
Yeah.
So like we had to constantly, you know, have that conviction to constantly sell it. Like this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
You know, to get those reps in your mind, we had to do it with every single one of us.
Yeah.
Because like when you, especially the first day when you come to hardcore, you go home and you got instantly like 5 people in your life telling you the opposite.
Yeah.
It's a scam. 5 people, at least 5 people in your life will be like, it's a scam.
Dude,
Don't go there.
I'll tell you the funniest story, bro. I got. This is not a joke either. I got dropped off at Dylan's. How old was I? Like I wasn't even a drive.
Underage.
I was underage. I was like 17-year-old kid. I was 17 when we started this. I was 17. Mum dropped me off, and I'm not joking. She thought that I was walking into a cult. She genuinely said, "Goes, this is a cult.
Yeah.
Like, you need to stop saying it. This is a cult." I'm like, well, first of all, it's not a cult because, well, might be a cult. I don't know yet. But, you know, that's kind of like the understanding that people have when you like are doing something wildly different to what they believe or understand as well.
Yeah.
So, which is a funny story. I thought it was hilarious.
And back then we had nothing to show for it because we were living in literally the worst house in all of Melbourne.
Dude, I had family members asking me like, what did these guys have to show for it?
Yeah, I remember your brother was saying, someone was saying,
someone named John down the street.
What was it like? Where's
If your name is John,
yeah,
you don't mean
where's his Ferrari?
what does he have to show for it? Like back then, if I had known the knowledge I knew now, I would have been like, it's compounding.
So John down the
Wealth is
street was like,
compounding.
"Where's your Ferrari?"
Yeah,
The funniest shit is wealthier we've got, the less possessions we own.
yeah,
See, that's the thing. Even with our top 5 heroes, they're all billionaires. They're all super successful. What do they have? Like, I remember back in 1999, not personally, but like there was a video on YouTube of Jeff Bezos. I think Amazon IPO'd in 97, and then it grew rapidly in the next 2 years. And then the .com bubble was like about to hit, right? And Jeff Bezos is, at this point, is worth $10 billion. At this point, he's worth $10 billion, and he's driving a Honda Accord.
Yeah.
And the guy is like, "Why are you driving a Honda Accord?" And then he just laughs and he's like, "Mate, this will get me from point A to point B."
Yeah.
You know?
yeah,
He doesn't need a Ferrari.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know why people think like you
He's
need
worth
something to
10
show
billion.
for it.
Even Muskie. Elon Musk lives in like a small home, like a tiny home now.
Yeah.
Like he sold everything.
Yeah.
Like, obviously people want nice things, holidays, experience, etc., and that all
I
comes
guess-
with it, and it's
I
a
guess
part
the
of it.
experience is more valuable.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
part of it, but it's like, I don't know. I think you work out really quickly that there's a point.
Yeah.
And past that certain point,
Yeah.
Most material things you can get your hands on very easily.
Yeah.
It no longer becomes exciting.
I think once you've got skin in the game, right? So you put in the effort and you make the money, and it's hard work, right? Once you've made the money, you're like, I don't want to spend it. I don't want to spend it on dumb shit,
Yeah.
because you know what it took to make that money.
Psychology, right? People want what they can't have. Always. Always and forever. People will want what they cannot have.
Yeah.
and not willing to work for. So, the minute you can, it goes out. I'll try and get that next thing.
Yeah.
Which for Elon Musk is now fucking Mars, but whatever.
That guy he's on the trajectory of being greatest of all time. I think he's making his own rockets that's reusable. Broke the record, never been done before. Then he's going to go to Mars, right? Mars has pretty much no oxygen, so you can't run a normal car. Guess what? He's got electric cars, boys. He can use his cars on Mars. That's insane.
Still has the time to troll crypto.
Still has time to troll crypto. Plus, he's got a solar power company as well. So guess how we're going to power houses on Mars? Solar power, boys. He's got that shit sorted. Like, it's like he's thought of this stuff in sequence.
Yeah.
All right, shall we wrap up? We're getting a little... Has everyone else got anything to say when it comes to that?
I think we covered all the points. I guess the last point of comparison is not the goal. Inspiration and motivation is.
Oh, yeah, that's important. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess, when you look up to those A-class people, they obviously have some sort of innate talent, some drive that makes them unique. And the sad truth is everyone doesn't have that, right? So I guess if you keep comparing yourself and then realize, oh shit, I'm not to their level, that's okay. You just have to make sure not to compare yourself to the point where you, have self-destruction.
Yeah.
So you should use them as inspiration and motivation to level yourself up with what you're capable of doing. But know that I will never be Elon Musk. I'm an aerospace engineer. Elon Musk is an aerospace engineer. I will never be Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. I'm okay with that. But I will use his principles and what he does in life to elevate myself.
Yeah. Use them as motivational inspiration to become the best you.
Yes.
Don't become them.
Yes. And if you keep comparing yourself to other people, you're going to drive yourself into a hole.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I guess.
Yeah. And the main thing is, like, we're searching these top 5 heroes, acquiring all of the benefits from them so we can become the hero of our life.
Yeah.
And reach our goals that we've set.
Absolutely. I think we touched on it in there, but leaving on a really good note is we recommend going to see Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
He's probably the best one to start with, especially with motivation.
Yeah.
Anyone else got anything to say? We're good?
No, I think Gary Vee is a great starting point, man. He impacted all our lives immensely, and good starting point, in my opinion. Just, if you guys don't like swearing, he swears a lot. That's the only thing. He keeps it real.
Get over it. He's great. All right. Back her up.
Back her up, boys.
Back her up.
Thank you for listening.